Rokid's back, and if you've seen my older reviews, you probably know I've always had a soft spot for their display glasses. Even when there were missing features, their screens were sharp enough that I often picked them over others anyway. Now they're back with something new, the Rokid Max 2 glasses and the updated Station 2. Together, they make up the Rokid AR Spatial pack, and things got a whole lot more interesting. Big thanks to Rokid for sponsoring this first impressions, not a full review yet until I spend more time with it. Today I'll take you beyond reality and into what's changed. So what exactly is this setup? The Rokid Max 2 are display glasses, super lightweight and designed to give you a giant virtual screen right in front of your eyes. And their Station 2 is their companion device that powers the spatial features that let you run apps and multitask. They form an AR system called YodaOS-Master, super cute name, and it's focused entirely on spatial computing.
Take it to him, I will.
That means you can open up to 3 virtual screens at once, and these aren't just 3 windows of the same app. You can actually run 3 different apps side by side, which isn't something most other display glasses can do. Place them around your view and you can still see your surroundings while you work, watch or play. If you haven't heard of Rokid before, they've actually been at this for quite a while. The company was founded back in 2014 and they started shipping display glasses to consumers in 2020. I've reviewed several of their earlier models already, and while I hadn't heard much from them lately, it turns out they've been quietly working on this complete redesign, and from the first use it really shows. The AR Spatial bundle is priced at $648 US or $578 with the discount code I've linked below. The glasses and Station are also available separately if you prefer. But let's take a look at what's in the box first. Inside the Rokid Max 2 box, you get a redesigned carrying case, the glasses themselves covered by a light blocking cover, extra nose piece, a USB-C to USB-C cable, manuals, a cleaning cloth, and then there's the Rokid Station 2 box that includes the Station 2 device, a thoughtful silicone case for the device, another USB-C to USB-C cable, and manuals. Nothing too fancy here, just everything you need to get started. Now before we talk about my highlights of this thing, let's talk about the new design, starting with the glasses. Rokid has always taken a slightly different approach when it comes to how their glasses look. The Max 2 uses a design that wraps around the optics, which helps hide those bulkier bird bath style lenses more than most. Personally, I think it works. It gives the glasses a cleaner silhouette, even if it's more of a personal taste thing. They come in at just 75 grams, so they're light enough to wear for a few hours straight, although I have to test this a little bit more later. On the right frame, you'll find 3 buttons: volume up, volume down, and a brightness toggle for the display. The new case design is a nice step up too. It's way roomier than most AR glasses cases I've seen. There's a dedicated compartment for accessories and even a removable divider that I assume is meant for the Station. And instead of a zipper, it closes like a clamshell and it still seals tightly. The build feels sturdy and their leather-like material adds a more premium touch. It's nothing groundbreaking, but generally thoughtful. Now the Rokid Station 2. This thing is small and fits nicely in the hand. It's kind of cute, honestly. On the left side there are volume buttons, and on the right you've got a home button and a menu button. Up top is a power button and a battery indicator. The entire front area is a capacitive touchpad, so it acts like a mini trackpad or pointer. More on that in a bit. So here's what stood out right away once I started using them. You can plug the Max 2 glasses into any device that supports USB-C DisplayPort alt mode, like a phone, Steam Steam Deck or laptop, and you get a mirrored screen inside the glasses. It uses micro OLED displays at 1080p or 1200p per eye depending on the source, with a perceived brightness of around 600 nits. It runs at 60 Hz, but if you use the Station 2 you can also do 120 Hz. There's also a built-in diopter adjustment from 0 to -6.00D, which is helpful if you're nearsighted. These glasses without the Station don't have built-in stabilization or 3DoF tracking. The image just follows your head movement, which is perfectly fine for basic media consumption. But if you want to do 3DoF tracking, that's where the Station 2 comes in. The Station 2 is more than just a streaming box. It runs on a Snapdragon 6 Gen 1 chip, has 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.2 and a 5000 mAh battery. It also includes a 9-axis IMU sensor to enable that 3DoF tracking, and there are 2 USB-C ports, one for the glasses and one for charging, both supporting up to 18 watts of fast charging. Once you snap on the glasses and boot up the Station, you notice the biggest change. It runs its own operating system now called YodaOS. Station 1, the previous one, was more like a Google TV, but now it's kind of like a mini computer, not just a casting box. You get access to the Google Play Store, so you can download Android apps directly and run them natively and on a giant floating screen. There's now a mini taskbar along the bottom for jumping between apps and accessing quick settings. The front touchpad on the Station acts like a mouse. You move your hand to guide the cursor and tap to click, or if you prefer, you can switch it to mousepad mode, so it behaves more like a laptop trackpad. You can run up to 3 app windows at once in 3DoF, so imagine YouTube in one window, social media in another, and a browser off to the side, all at the same time without switching between screens. The windows can be repositioned and each window can be changed to a wide, ultra-wide or narrow size. There's also the theater mode, which gives you that massive screen effect. That's also where you can freely resize the screen to match your comfort to up to 300 inch. Now, about that claim, remember that it's more of a reference point. The idea is that it feels like you're looking at a 300-inch screen floating 8 meters in front of you, but what actually defines what you see is the field of view. And here it's around 50 degrees. That's a solid bump over previous Rokid glasses, though a bit less than some of the newest competitors, which are now hitting around 57 degrees, but those also come with a higher price tag. With 50 degrees field of view, you have to imagine that you're watching through like a rectangular box, so even if the screen is 300 inches, you will still see only a small part of it, so you most likely be putting the screen a little bit less big. And yes, Netflix works natively, no workarounds needed, it just opens and plays, which isn't always the case with display glasses. So this means it also supports other DRM apps like Prime Video and Disney Plus, and it's just really nice to have access to all these different apps because this device has access to the Google Play Store. Now, the glasses do not have electrochromic dimming, so it's either see-through with a bit of natural darkness, or you clip on the light blocking cover. The see-through mode, so without the cover, does have its perks though. Rokid makes pretty smart use of the transparency, like they fade out backgrounds or overlay spatial elements, which gives some visuals a more immersive AR-like feel. One of the nicer touches is this constellation background that slowly fades in, making it feel like your room has now been filled with space stars. These kinds of small design decisions might go unnoticed, but as someone with a background in interaction design, I really appreciate those. They also have about 35 spatial apps you can play and try out. It's super cute, and you can install third-party app stores even like Aurora for even more flexibility. So you can really customize this thing to your needs. For my personal setup, I've already got Google Docs for script writing and Moonlight and Steam Link for game streaming and social media, paired with a Bluetooth keyboard or controller, and it really becomes this compact, portable entertainment and productivity system without needing anything else. It also supports 3D content and spatial videos, including ones shot on certain iPhones. And while we're talking about Apples, the Apple Vision Pro is obviously in a league of its own when it comes to mixed reality with full spatial mapping, hand tracking, and a much larger field of view, but Rokid isn't really trying to compete with that directly. This setup is going for something else. It's lighter, simpler, and costs about 1/5 of the price. You don't get the advanced sensors or VR, but for watching content, multitasking, and just basic spatial interaction, it gets closer. It also feels like Rokid is leaning into community feedback this time. They've built out their OS with actual user input, and that shows. A lot of the features that were missing before are finally here, and it's a big improvement because of that. So far, I've tried the setup in a few different scenarios. At home, I've been using it to binge Netflix. Theater mode makes it feel like I got a massive screen hovering in my room without taking up any space. In the garden, I was actually writing this script using floating windows, a small Bluetooth keyboard on my lap, just relaxing outside. It worked surprisingly well, though you definitely want to use the clip-on cover because the sunlight washes the image out too much otherwise. And I played Steam games in my empty, sad, messy studio right now because I just moved, but these glasses really does make that kind of scenarios better. So these aren't dramatic use cases, but that's kind of the point with just the station and the glasses. You don't need a laptop or phone anymore. It's a compact setup that still lets you get stuff done or just kick back and watch something without needing much else. So my first impressions are good. The Max 2 glasses are lightweight and comfortable enough for a few hours of use. The image still looks nice and sharp, which was always Rokid's strong point. I don't wear a prescription myself, though, so I couldn't fully test the diopter range, but the adjustment is there if you need it. The Station 2 has been surprisingly capable so far. The UI feels responsive and multitasking works well. I did notice that the virtual screens can drift over time, but recalibrating is quick, so it hasn't been a major issue, but it is something I'll keep an eye on during longer sessions. One thing worth mentioning, the Station 2 does make a bit of fan noise. It's not super loud, but in a quiet room, especially at night, you definitely hear it. Not a deal breaker, but something to be kept in mind. I still need to test battery life, image quality, and how it holds up in different environments for extended use. All that's coming in the full review. I think I need like a week or two more with the device, so if there's anything specific you want me to test or show in that review, definitely drop it in the comments because I still have some time for it. But if you're curious already, I've got a $70 exclusive discount code from Rokid and a link in the description where you can check out the Rokid Max and Station 2 yourself. Don't forget to subscribe for more XR content, it helps a lot.